So hello and welcome to my video presentation for my fourth year software application. So the name of the application is Esports Betting Application. My name is Philip Bethel and I'm a BSc Computing student specialising in cybersecurity. So the technologies I used were Atom as a programming platform. I used the MySQL database to store all the data inputted in the registry page and the login page. I used XAMPP to host the actual application, and the languages I used were HTML, PHP, JavaScript and CSS. So I have put over 150 hours of work into the application, and there are around 5,000 lines of code. So just so you realise the actual amount of work that I put into it. So the application is a betting platform based around esports fighting video games, and it allows the user to bet on their favourite fighting games and real world players. And I have always been a gamer, and fighting games are my favourite type of online competitive games, and that's the reason I created this application. So this application will appeal to a very broad audience of video gamers who enjoy fighting games, and anyone who is interested in placing a bet, and anyone who knows what the annual Evo tournaments are. So I'll just give you a quick introduction to the annual Evo event, because the application is based around the Evo event. So Evo is an abbreviation for Evolution, and it's the biggest tournament held every year for fighting video games. The Evo games I have included in my app are Tekken 7, Mortal Kombat 11, Dead or Alive 6 and Soul Calibur 6. And all of these games are the latest games in their respective franchises. So the Evo prize fund, just to give you an idea how much people get paid, the players get paid, 2019 total prize pool was over $200,000. That's because every entrant contributes $10. So the other games in 2019's Evo were BlazBlue, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Samurai Showdown, Street Fighter 5 and Super Smash Brothers, and these games change every year depending on popularity. So I'll just give you a quick demo of the application actually running in real time so you can see how it works. So this is the registry page, and I'm just going to sign in as Andrew and my email address and password. And I'm just going to take out the @ symbol in the email address and try and register and see what happens. So as you can see there, I can't register because I have to have a valid email. So this is just one of the security features, and I'll try and register again, and as you can see I can't because I have to have a required password. So I'll just type in a proper password and try and register. So you are registered successfully, so I'll just log in now, and I'll log in with my own username and my own password. So this is the home screen. So as you can see, it says welcome Philip, which is the username will always be displayed there. This is your home page. Please choose a tournament. So I have Tekken 7, Soul Calibur 6, Mortal Kombat 11 and Dead or Alive 6, and I can view these in list or grid mode, and just by the push of a button. So I'll just choose the Tekken 7 tournament. So this is where you actually place your bets. This is one of 4 betting pages. So I'll just place a bet on me. The odds are 20 to 1, and I'll place 12 credits. So you have successfully placed a bet. And this is your account card. So as you can see here, it welcomes the username. And so I lost that bet, so my winnings are -12 and my balance is 88 because you start out with 100 credits. So just go back and try placing another bet, 15 credits this time, and I lost again. So your starting balance is 100 credits, my winnings are -15 and my balance is 85. So I'll just go to another tournament and see if I can win this time. So this is Soul Calibur 6, and I'll bet on RTD at 8 to 1, place bet, and yes, we actually won. So Philip's winnings are 90, credits, and my balance is 190 esports credits. So just to demonstrate, I've put in all different sound effects for when you actually place a bet for each of the 4 different tournaments. This is Dead or Alive.
Falcon punch! Falcon punch! Get over here!
And we lost again, so winnings are -20 and balance is 80. So this is the results page. So this is where you can cycle each of the tournaments and see the placings of each of the players. So you just pick a tournament. I'll pick Tekken 7 and cycle the tournament, and as you can see, it refreshes the tournament and gives you all the placings of the players. And you can also view a little picture of the box art of each of the games just on a click. So this is the Soul Calibur one. Again, you can see cycling the tournament and the box art for the game. And Mortal Kombat 11. So I've included an about page, just a little bit of information about me, what the project is about, what I'm studying in college, and also I can go to Evo Grand Finals page where you can watch the Evo Grand Finals 2019 for all the games in the application. So we'll just try play the Mortal Kombat 11 one. So I'll just log out here. This is another little security feature with the session management. I'll try and press the back button and try and go back in, and I can't. It won't let me back in unless I log back in. So thanks for watching. So I'll just give you a little rundown of the application's code key features. So this is the code for automatically opening the account PHP page and displaying the winnings and balance. As you can see here, the sum is the winnings plus 100, so that's the balance, and it parses it into query string, and then in local storage it sets the item and gets the item. And this is the script on the account page that receives that and prints the bet. So it uses a for loop to write the queries, which is the sum, minus 100, which is the winnings, and prints them on the account page. So this is the PHP code for creating the array and printing random player listings. This is displayed on each of the results pages. So this is what you were watching when I was cycling the tournaments. So I create the array first with all the different names of the players in the tournament, and then I create a random index from the array 5 times, and then I echo it 5 times, so it prints each of the players randomly and gives you a list of the placings. So this is the code for creating the sound bite and the image, and then displaying it full screen on click. As you can see here, I've included a My Audio, which is Toasty, which is a little Mortal Kombat soundbite. So when you click on it, it plays that soundbite. And then image on click function, and it displays the actual image as a block and plays the audio file. And then this is just the code here, on click function, to get rid of the actual image. So here's the code for declaring the username. So this is how I displayed the user's registry name on the home screen on the account page. So it's a simple little bit of piece of code. It's just session start username equals username, and then as you can see here, I centered the text, colored it purple, and used a little bit of PHP code to echo the username, and so that would say, if it was me, it would say Philip's account card. So this is the code for playing the MK theme song on the home screen. So it's simple as well. It's just you declare the audio file, my audio, MK MP3, and you play it in a loop, and then window on load. So when the window loads, it plays the audio file. And this is the code for playing the soundbite on the credit input. So this is on the 4 different betting pages. So this is the Tekken one, so it's the chicken MP3. So it also gives you a confirmation, a little window just saying you have successfully placed a bet. And then when you unclick, type in the amount of credits you want to bet, it plays the sound and gives you the confirmation as well. So I think there's a skill to using HTML and CSS as well to get the aesthetic of the application just right. And it took me a long time to just polish the whole application and make it look, you know, universal, and all the pages kind of blend together. So this is the HTML and CSS code for styling the Mortal Kombat button on the home page. And the CSS is very versatile. You can change to any color, any size. This is the actual style. Here is the actual CSS for the button, and I've centered it here, and on click it plays a sound as well. And as you can see there, you can put in any color, any size. You can center it. You can make it inline block. Do various things with it. So this is the code for styling the Mortal Kombat button on the results page. So this is one of 4 buttons. So this is the color here, and again the background color, and again it's very versatile. You can put in any size, any color, margins, or whatever you want to do. So the required questions, this is the first one. Describe the security risks that exist in your application. Okay, so one security risk would be password hacking or a brute force attack. So I've counteracted this by making sure that there's a requirement for the password. So the password must contain at least one number and one uppercase and lowercase letter, and at least 8 more characters. So the user has to put in a valid password to register. And another vulnerability is cross-site scripting or XSS attacks. So to combat this, I put in a small little piece of code for each of the input boxes on the betting page. So if any malicious script is put into the input boxes, it gets filtered and sanitized. So another vulnerability would be spam bots or malicious sites trying to input code into your application. So the code for prevention of attacks from malicious sites and spam bots, and it's blacklisting. So this is the function here, IP blacklisting, and this is the IP address of the site that I want to block, and I can put in as many or whatever IP addresses or of the sites I want to block there. And then if that site decides to try and input malicious code into my application, it will get redirected to google.com, and I can forward I can change that site to any site I want as well. So encryption of the password. So this is prevention from database infiltration and retrieval of the password. So I've just used a simple little piece of MD5 password hashing in the registry PHP file, and as you can see in the actual database here, all the passwords are hashed. So required question number 2, what was the most difficult part of your project? Well, the core functionality was to code the actual odds and to have a random chance of winning and losing the bet. So that was the most challenging piece of code I had to come up with. So how I done that is, the first step was to give values to the credits in each of the input boxes. So as you can see here, input type, the first input box is where the odds are. So I've called, the name of that is first number, and the input box where you actually put in the amount of credits you want to bet is called second number. So they're the values of each of the input boxes, and then with a little piece of PHP code down here, first number equals first number, second number equals second number. So they're the two input boxes, and then the sum, which is the winnings, equals the first number, which is the first input box, times the second number, which is the amount of credits you're putting in, plus the second number, which is the amount of credits you bet. So you're getting those credits back if you actually win the bet. I then created an array of all the players in each of the tournaments. Then I created a random generator 5 times for each of the players in that array. So here's the array here. So it's just all the players, the 5 players in the tournament, and then I create a random index 5 times. So then I had to have a random winner and loser. I done this by calculating the odds in an if-else statement using the array. So basically I calculate the odds here. So declare the sum, and if you press the submit button and ni, which is one of the players, is equal to the top of the array, then you calculate the winnings. Otherwise, or else, you calculate the losses. So required question number 3, what testing have you completed? So from the ground up I carried out unit testing, and from the moment I started developing the front end of the application, I carried out rigorous testing from the ground up, making sure that the app looked and functioned perfectly. This meant typing sections of code and running the app hundreds of times over to ensure every aspect of it was working as it should. And that went from the start of the development to right till the end, and to make it look right and make sure all the actual functions of the app worked properly. And actually the testing of the app probably took up the most time in development. And I also used a static analyzer tool. So from previous experience I have found that static analysis tools are the most thorough tools for testing vulnerabilities and security risks. The software tool I used is called FlexNet. Now this is just a screenshot of the actual application I used. And as you can see from the image, after I ran all the code through the static analyzer, there were no vulnerabilities found. So 65 files scanned, and no vulnerabilities found. And this is the scan summary, and it reveals no security vulnerabilities and states that my code base represents a low level of operational risk. So as you can see here, this is the actual URL of the application, and 65 files scanned, and so vulnerabilities none found, and my code base represents a low level of operational risk. So thank you for watching. That's the end of my video presentation, and feel free to grade me generously, then we can be friends.